All right, guys, this is the big one. Triple G versus Saul Canelo Alvarez for all the fucking marbles. Well, depends how you look at it, really. Uh, Being that Canelo is the lineal middleweight champion, having never fought at 160. But regardless, Gennady Triple G Golovkin, 37-0, 33 knockouts, 5'10" and a half, 70-inch reach, 35 years old. Saul Canelo Alvarez, 49, 1-1, 34 knockouts. He's a generous 5'9", 70.5-inch reach, just 26 years old. Their last three fights, Golovkin knocked out Dominic Wade, in 2 rounds, April 23rd, 2016. TKO win over Kell Brook, September 10th, 2016, and a UD win over Daniel Jacobs, March 18th, 2017. Canelo, 6th-round knockout of Amir Khan, May 7th, 2016. 9th-round knockout Liam Smith, September 17th, 2016. And a UD win over a fucking listless Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., May 6th, 2017. On to their strengths with Triple G first. He has top-notch amateur pedigree. He beat Andy Lee. He knocked out Lucian Bute. He beat Andre Durrell. He beat Matvey Korobov, all in the amateurs. Olympic silver, 345 wins, 5 losses, all that shit. You don't have a better amateur pedigree than Gennady Golovkin. He has elite power in both hands with the boxing intelligence to make the most of it. He feints well. He has one of the best jabs in the entire sport of boxing. It's a missile that he's knocked guys down with. He knocked down Osamanu Adama with a fucking jab. And he uses that jab to either just straight up fuck you up like he did with Lemieux, or he'll set up his power punches with it. It's an unbelievable weapon. His ability to cut the ring off is second to none, and that's not hyperbole, that's a fact. He applies constant, effective pressure. As Matthew Macklin said, he's coming forward in first gear, and you're darting away in fifth. He makes you burn nervous energy, in other words. He has one of the best chins out there. He's never been down or even hurt in nearly 400 fights. That's amateur, Olympics, and professional ranking. Professional, all that. He varies speed and placement of his punches very well. You don't hear people talk about that often, but he does. And that's critical, because as I've said before, in boxing, it's a lot about setting patterns and then breaking those patterns. Which he does well in a number of ways. He's much better defensively than he's given credit for. Just because it's not flashy does not mean it's not effective. I think a lot of people mistake, what's the old saying there? A lot of people mistake activity for effectiveness, which I think a lot of people did watching that Jacobs fight, because while Jacobs was active at times, he was not fucking very effective, and that really isn't up for debate. Golovkin also always tucks his chin, and he protects it with his rear hand. He's currently ESPN's #1 pound-for-pound fighter. Abel Sanchez actually also said that the Mexican style that he kind of taught Golovkin, or he helped him employ, he based that off of Chavez Sr., Roberto Duran, Salvador Sanchez, Wilfredo Gomez, and even Oscar De La Hoya, believe it or not. And that really has been the big turnaround in Golovkin's career. It made him the fan-friendly, offensive fucking machine that he's become. On to Canelo Alvarez for strength. Very good hand speed and willingness to let his hands go. He's a skilled counterpuncher with decent enough power at 154. He throws a good variety of punches, and he throws combinations extremely well. He has an excellent resume for a 26-year-old fighter. You really can't fucking debate that. He fights in a broken rhythm that's hard to time, and that goes back to what I kind of mentioned before, set patterns and then break the patterns. He places punches well, and he's a creative puncher overall. He adapts well inside the ring. In other words, if you watch his fights, he kind of pressured Erislandy Lara. He counterpunched Kirkland into oblivion, and he fought a disciplined fight against Miguel Cotto. He avoids flush shots. Even when he's hit, he has that subtle head roll that he does very well. He also baits and sets traps extremely well. And Canelo Alvarez stays poised at all times. You could see this where he kind of, you know, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion, he fought against Amir Khan. He was being, if not outboxed, he sure wasn't winning most of those rounds. He stayed patient and he waited until he had his opening. Khan left a lazy jab out. He got countered over the top with a right hand and fucking got sent to the shadow realm. So, you know, he stuck to his plan, whatever it was. He stayed patient, found his opening, made the most of it. Did the same thing against Liam Smith. Liam was tough as hell, kept a high clamshell guard. Eventually, by staying patient, chipping away, breaking him down, Canelo landed that body shot and fucking crumpled him up to the canvas. So he's a patient fighter. On to the weaknesses. Gennady Golovkin. He can be somewhat challenged by athletic fighters, especially those with size and length. And really that's only been notable in his last fight with Jacobs, who also disregarded the IBF rehydration weigh-in, which is notable as well. When he goes for the kill, Golovkin can leave himself open to counters and get hit a bit, as was evident in the Kell Brook fight. But at the same time, his chin is so fucking good that nobody has been able to do anything with it. So it is what it is. He does not have the fastest hands, but he offsets that with timing and power. Watch the Willie Monroe fight. Monroe had much faster hands, but Golovkin just could time him. And, you know, watch when he gets Monroe in the corner. Monroe's pawing with a jab and leaves a lazy one out and gets fucking crushed, left hook over the top of it, right down on his ass. Golovkin gets criticized a lot for his resume, despite having been avoided by champs like, and these are middleweight champions alone, Miguel Cotto, Maravilla, Sergio Martinez, Peter Quillen. You can go on for a long time. If you want to go super middleweight, you've got guys like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., you've got Carl Froch. I mean, it's fucking almost endless. Darren Barker, he was a champion at middleweight. Kelly Pavlik, there was rumored to another guy that didn't want to fight him, champion at middleweight. You got, I mean, Christ, the list is pretty fucking impressive. Felix Sturm, you know, you guys get the point. Canelo Alvarez, weaknesses, he's very flat and heavy-footed. He's deliberate in his movement, and he cannot cut off the ring. He struggles with boxer movers, and that was evident in fights against Lara, Floyd Mayweather, and Amir Khan, for example. Another question is, what is his power going to be like at 160? He couldn't drop Cotto at 154 or Chavez at 164, but at the same time, he beat both guys. So he beat Chavez embarrassingly easily, and he knocked fucking Khan the fuck out. So it remains to be seen how much of a weakness that is. His defense is fair overall, but he does a very good job avoiding clean shots. He will have never faced anybody with the power and capability of landing said power like Gennady Golovkin. So that's going to be a big tell in this fight. How well can Canelo stand up to Golovkin's power? That's going to be interesting to see, first of all, and it's also going to have a big fucking part in how this fight plays out. How does Triple G win this fight? Well, a lot has been said about how each fighter's strengths plays into the other's weaknesses. Triple G's constant pressure versus Canelo's counterpunching, Canelo's speed against Golovkin's timing, and so forth. This is clearly a fight between two elite talents, and in this case, I believe the old adage holds true: a great big man beats a great little man. And the reasons are as follows. 1. Canelo's last 4 fights, Cotto, Kirkland, Khan, and Chavez, will have done nothing to prepare him for Triple G. 0. Not a fucking thing. 2nd, Canelo has never been hit by anything like Triple G or faced pressure like Triple G will apply, and he has struggled in the past with volume punchers, in which Golovkin can obviously be at times. Canelo was sure to have some success, but Golovkin has faced much bigger punchers without batting an eyelash, and he has never hit canvas in nearly 400 total fights. Again, as the bigger man fighting in the division that he has owned for years, the task ahead is more difficult for Canelo, to my mind. And if he can't hurt Triple G, like I just said, or even earn his respect, it could be an outright nightmare. I think Triple G starts out like he did with Lemieux and uses the jab constantly, By 3 or 4 rounds in, once he sees what's in front of him, I think it plays out much like the Stevens fight, though Canelo possibly having more success at times before succumbing to a TKO somewhere around round 9 or so. Like most of you, I absolutely cannot fucking wait for this one. I really like what both guys bring to the table, both in and out of the ring. They're respectable. They work hard. They're just two really great fighters to watch fight. Let me know how you guys see this one playing out. Thanks for listening as always. Straight Right Boxing Talk. I hope you're all doing well. Catch you in the next one.